Damn, JV, you made this?
All right, so we're live.
JV produced this.
Let's begin. I was really scared about my exams. It was thermodynamics, and I had not read the course until it was 3 days before the exam. You know that moment when you can't just understand how the semester flew so fast? I was so afraid because thermodynamics was popularly known in engineering as one of the most difficult subjects to pass. And the problem with that subject was that if you failed it, it would even be much more difficult to pass it the second time. Well, I had friends, of course. So I went to them and I asked them for their help in getting good grades. Ladies and gentlemen, most of what they were teaching sounded confusing, but because they were helpful friends, they explained to me in a way I could understand. But there was one critical problem. Despite the fact that they explained everything to me, I didn't actually practice it on my own. So you know that moment when they show you how 1 plus 1 is 2, and they've showed you how 4 plus 4 is 8, and they showed you how 8 plus 8 is 16. But you've actually not solved the mathematics yourself. You just know how it works. It made me realize how different knowledge is from understanding. I went into the exam hall, and that was the first time I was solving a question by myself. Now, I knew what to do, but it took me so long to solve the questions that I almost failed that course. The title of today's episode is There is no understanding without experience. If you've not experienced something, you don't understand it. Yeah. And so many people, I see people make this mistake in life. When they learn something, they have this dopamine that makes them feel like they now understand it. Unfortunately, that might mislead you into running the race and making even mistakes you do not expect. Because if I had solved those math questions, I would have noticed where and when I was facing difficulties. That experience would have prepared me better for the exam. I dare say it is better to solve one math question and solve it until you understand it than to listen to someone teach you 5 math questions. Because after listening to them, it's only in your memory. So long as you've not practiced it, you don't understand it. And you might be wondering, what does this have to do with, what does this explanation have to do with life in general? Well, here's the truth. You know too much already, but you've not practiced enough. Right now, you are overwise. You know a lot about many things. There are at least 5 skills you know you can start now, based on the knowledge you have. But success does not come to knowledge. Success comes to understanding. And understanding is full of failure. So most people, when they face the first bite of failure, that first thing, they want to run away. And so I have had many people ask me questions like, what's the best way to make money in this online space? What's the best way? Over time, I used to have certain answers, but right now, I'll be honest with you, there is no best way. There are billionaires in every industry. And so you're doing yourself a big disservice if you're looking for one best way. You should look for the way that is best to you, because everybody has a different temperament. Not everybody can do crypto. Not everybody can do coding, AI. Not everybody can do content creation. You should pick the one that is most natural to you and start from there to build your leverage. I've told you about the tools of leverage, right? Labor, capital, media, and code or AI. So it doesn't really matter what you are doing. What matters is that you have started doing it. When you start focusing on something, there's another, there's another game that starts that you may not realize until it is too late. The game of distraction. What is stopping you from being good at one thing is other things. So other things are constantly stopping you, preventing you from being good at anything. And so when you focus on one thing, let's assume it's going to take you 2 years to become very good at that thing. If 6 months into that journey, you begin another thing, you have cut short that journey and started a new thing. So if you are going in a particular direction, you've just changed direction because you picked a new thing. So most of you listening to me right now, you're in your 20s. Depending on how old you are, you might just have 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 9 years, 6 years until you reach 30. Let's assume you break each of the skills you want to learn and master into 2 years each. It will take you at least 2 years to master any skill. 2 years of focus. Because when you start a skill, you should never break your focus. Focus on that thing. If it's a business, focus and do nothing else. Because the temptation will come for you to start something else that is trending. Stay on your lane. Over time, if you would need to do something else, you can. But the problem with many people is they are not focused on one thing. They have too many options. They have too many plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And that is not really helping. It's not helping. Really. So I've had some time to think about, why do people jump ship? Why do they start something and they can't stay consistent? Why do they start TikTok, for example? Why do they start Web3 or AI or whatever? Why do they start a career in a particular direction, start a business, and they can't stay true to the end? And really, I've come to a couple of conclusions. Number one, they don't have enough faith. Faith. What is faith? Faith is a strong belief in a particular thing. And so, when I was in Web3, I've actually quit Web3, but when I was in Web3, I was fanatic about it because everything I was consuming was Web3. Every single information I was consuming was Web3. Every single piece of article, everything was bombarding my mind. I felt like Web3 was the best thing in the world. That is how you should feel about your business. If you're going into agriculture can make you billions. If you're going into tech, coding can make you billions. If you're doing content creation, it can make you billions, but you have to constantly bombard yourself with information that builds your faith in that field. Else, anything else that comes will just carry your attention. It's as simple as that. And so, as a person, whatever you choose to do, whatever you choose to put your hand into, make sure that you find things that build your faith in that thing. Unfortunately, faith itself comes by experience. So if you're not actively practicing and you're not actively listening to people who are actively practicing and you're not actively surrounding yourself with people who are actively practicing, it will be difficult to get faith. You'll be easily discouraged by affiliate marketers. They listen to information in affiliate marketing. When Web3 came, the same thing. When copywriting, there are so many things that have come, into the climate. Guess what? Your edge, your literal edge, is in surrounding yourself with that industry. Let nothing else enter your space. Don't criticize any other person, but look down on them. Look down on them in a way that you don't see yourself doing what they are doing. What you are doing should be the best and most lucrative thing. Once you begin to see another person's field, another person's craft as superior to yours, you've already failed the test. I'm sorry. This is why you should share this episode with your friends if you're enjoying the lessons so far. Plus, if you want more episodes like this, you can find it on my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and all podcast platforms. Just search for Witty Prince Mental Models. Or if you prefer text, visit wittyprince.substack.com to get the mental models as an article. Our time is up. See you on the next episode tomorrow by 8 a.m. prompt. Thank you very much for your time. So let's end the live stream.